everybody, and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac, and we are back for episode 9 of FTB Infinity Evolved. Last episode, we were working on getting renewable power using the water wheel from Immersive Engineering, and since the end of last episode, our little setup here has done a fantastic job of turning all of our ores into ingots over here. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to jump back over to the magic side of things, and my goal for the end of today is to get a blood magic blood altar. Now, that might not seem like much of a goal if you're playing the normal Feed the Beast Infinity, but as I mentioned before, if you watched some of the previous episodes, you'll know that all of the magic mods are kind of intertwined with each other, so you've got to use some of the other magic mods to get stuff from other magic mods, if that makes sense. And for some reason, blood magic was chosen as kind of the highest tier of magic mod, because if we go ahead and take a look at blood magic, the altar requires things from Botania, Thaumcraft, and Witchery in order to get it to work. So you're going to need this guy here, the Attuned Stone from Witchery, which requires this guy here, the Whiff of Magic, which is made in a Witcher's Oven, which will be a first for me, like, ever. I don't think I've played with Witchery in any mod pack so far, so this will be a first trying to get some of this stuff set up. It also requires some Mana Steel, and, of course, the Alchemical Furnace from Thaumcraft. Speaking of which, Thaumcraft is where we're going to start today, because it's actually not too hard to get all the way up and get some of the Thaumcraft stuff up and running. Of course, the first thing that we are going to need is a Thauminomicon, and to get that, all we need to do is right-click on a bookshelf with a an iron-capped wooden wand. So to get that, I have been saving up my sugarcane. Every time I find some around and about, I do pick it up and make sure that we have enough of it. We also have quite a bit of string. We also have quite a bit of leather, though, as well, but actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll use leather because string is a little harder. It's not that much harder, but it's a little bit of a harder recipe. So for now, we are going to go ahead and make ourselves a couple of books. 1, 2, 3 should be enough. Then we'll do something like that. Boom, boom, get 3 books. Then we can go ahead and do something like this. Boom, and get ourselves a bookshelf. Nice. Easy enough. We can then go ahead and make some sticks. And if we grab ourselves an iron ingot, make a very quick little set of iron nuggets. We're getting 2 sets of iron nuggets, actually, now I think about it. We can then take those over here, turn those into iron caps like so. 1, 2. And then we can go ahead and combine those up with a normal stick. Boom, boom, and boom. And that gets us an iron-capped wooden wand. Nice. Now, this is the most basic, low-tier version of a wand in Thaumcraft, but it will get the job done. And if we go ahead and put this bookshelf down anywhere we like, and then right-click it with our wooden wand, boom, we get ourselves a Thauminomicon. Nice. I think that is the easiest and fastest I have ever done that in an episode. Now, once we look inside of our Thauminomicon, you'll see there is a bunch of stuff to do, a bunch of research that we have to complete in order to unlock certain things. For example, I know for a fact that this guy here, the Alchemical Furnace, is over here under this bit of research, and to get this, we need to complete the research for both Nitor and for Alumentum. Now, you'll see it says you need scribing tools and paper to complete this research note. So, we're going to have to go ahead and make some more paper like this. We only need 1 piece of paper per research note that we do, and we're going to need some scribing tools, which are made using a feather, a glass vial. I also think you can use a normal, oh, maybe not. Ooh, they've changed the recipe. Okay, normally you could just use a glass bottle, so 3 glass, but this has been changed to require a glass vial, which is 3 mana glass and 1 clay. So this kind of little bit of integration with Botania. My main question is, do we have any ink sacs? I don't think that we do. We should also look into getting a better storage solution, because this is not very good. But I think we can go ahead and use black mystical flowers in the crushed up form, possibly. But before we do that, let's get a little bit of glass going. And we got some sand, but I think I was smelting some up at the end of last episode, so we got 3 there. Okay, that's cool. Let's take that, and let's quickly see if we have enough mana in our mana pool to make 3 mana glass. I'm hoping we do. If not, we can always throw some more fuel at these ender flames. But 1, 2, 3. Nice. Cool. Okay, we'll take that. We will then see if we can use black dye in place of ink. And also, I'm like 99.7% sure that we should have a piece of clay lying around, and we do. Good stuff. All right, let's take that, and then let's combine all of that stuff up. Boom, 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 to get ourselves a glass vial. And then all we need to do is make a pestle and mortar in order to crush up the mystical black petals that we have here into black powder, which we should, I think, then be able to use to make... Ooh, that's not how you make a bowl? It is not. It's made like this. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Which we should then be able to use to replace the black dye. So we'll take that. We will then go back to the scribing tools. And we should maybe be able to do something like get ourselves a feather, which we have. Cool. All right. Let's see. We will throw that in like so. And it doesn't work. No. Okay. I thought that was going to work. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, well, in that case then, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to try and kill a squid in the ocean, get myself some ink, and I'll be back in a second. And a quick trip to the ocean later, we now have ourselves 5 ink sacs, which is more than enough to make the scribing tools. And now, the last thing that we are going to need is to make ourselves a research table. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the research table recipe has been changed to how it normally is. So, research... It's not called a research table, it's called normal table, and you put 2 of them together to make a research table. Now, to make the normal tables, we actually have to use greatwood planks, and again, if we look back into the little Feed the Beast guide over here, go to Magic Tree, go to Thaumcraft, you will see that in order to get greatwood planks, we actually have to put a greatwood log into the mana pool. You can't just craft them into logs like you normally would, at least I assume you can't. And so, what we're going to have to do now is head on over to our nearest greatwood tree, which, thankfully, is actually not too far away. I did see one just over in the distance. I don't know if you can quite see it with Optifine, but it's just over there in the distance. So, I'm going to go away. I'm going to go and get this greatwood, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we found the greatwood tree. It didn't take that much finding. I kind of knew where it was. But it turns out that because someone's base is here and because they've claimed the chunks, if we look at the map here, you can actually claim chunks so other people can't build in them and can't destroy your stuff. Greymaterist7 has actually claimed this greatwood tree. Now, I'm going to be a little bit cheaty and I'm going to do /admin unclaim. And I'm going to unclaim this chunk. If you're watching Greymaterist, I apologize. You can come and reclaim this. I just need a couple of pieces of your very nice greatwood tree. And then I'm going to be on my way. But I kind of need these. And I don't want to have to go walking for like a bajillion miles to try and find another one. So, for now, I'm just going to kind of take that one. Hopefully, no one will do anything to his little section of base there. I think it should be okay. Again, if you're watching, I'm sorry. But what we should be able to do now is throw this into the mana pool and get ourselves some greatwood planks. So, again, hopefully we have enough mana in our mana pool to make this work, and we do. Now, how many of these are we going to need? Because I don't want to make too many. We need 2 tables, which means we need 4 planks, and then at least 3 more, so 7 planks. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Cool. All right. Is that? No, that's not at all right. We need even more than that. That is not quite enough. Oh, we're at, oh my goodness. Okay, we need one more plank. Okay, so a little while later, we did have a little bit of an issue with the mana pool. For some reason, after I'd done like maybe 4 or 5 of my greatwood logs, when I threw more in, it just ate them. It didn't give me any greatwood planks back. It was a little bit annoying. I threw about 6 greatwood logs into the mana pool, and it just ate them up. I tried restarting the server. I tried all kinds of stuff. In the end, I had to break the mana pool and put it back down before I could get more greatwood planks out of it. I'm not quite sure what that's about. We are on an old version of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved right now, so maybe that's been fixed in the newer versions. I'm not too sure, but one thing I do know for sure right now is that we can go ahead and make ourselves the second table. Nice. Now, once we've got both of those, what we should be able to do is grab our scribing tool. And then, once we've figured out where we're going to put this down, and I think for now, I'll put it like here. You want to put 2 of these next to each other, and then right-click with the scribing tool. Boom! And you get a research table. Nice! Now, by default, it will have so many aspects in it. And what we need to do now is go ahead and grab ourselves the research notes for Nitor and for Argumentum. And for that, we are going to need the scribing tools, which by default are put in here after you make the table. But if we take those out and grab the scribing tools, the research even, for Nitor and Argumentum, boom, we can then take those and put them into the research table, like so, with our scribing tool. And then the idea here is you have to connect the Ignis on this side with this unknown aspect here. Now, there are multiple ways that you can unlock this aspect. You can go ahead and try and like merge 2 aspects here together like so, and when you do so, you'll unlock new aspects, because all of the aspects in Thaumcraft are made up of these 5 or 6, 1, 2, 3, 6 primal aspects. But when you do that, you do lose 1 Predator and 1 Order. For example, if we did this, we lost 1 Predator and 1 Ignis. Maybe Air and Ignis? Yeah, air and ignis gets us lux, which I thought was the one. Oh, that's for nitor. If we take this out and put nitor in, you can see nitor requires lux and ignis. So what you got to do is you got to connect the lux to the ignis, and the way you do that is basically lux is made up of ignis and air, so you can put either ignis or air in any of these slots here, any of the adjacent slots to the aspect, and then it will kind of connect up. So for example, if I put ignis there, we get a nice little line showing they've connected. I can then put lux there because lux is made using ignis, and then I can go ahead and put ignis here. That gets a line there, and then finally I can put some lux there. That connects the whole thing up with a line, and we have completed the research for nitor. Nice. So, if we go ahead and right-click on that, we have now discovered nitor. The next thing we need to do is discover Alumentum. And again, it's kind of the same thing. Because we don't have a thermometer right now, we can't scan items for these aspects. What we have to do is kind of just play around with this a little bit and see what we can find. I'm not 100% certain on what the missing aspect is, so this could take a little while. It's Botania. Botania is made up using order and predictor, so I think what we can do for that is... Oh no, Botania is made up using order and ignis. My apologies. We put it together, we get an extra ignis. So what we can do there is we can go ahead and again just use ignis, use some Botania. Is it Botania? Yeah, Botania, ignis, and Botania. And we complete ourselves the research notes for Alumentum, which gives us access to this guy over here, Essentia Distillation, which does require us to have these scribing tools. And again, will get us one more set of research notes, which we can then put in here. And again, we are now missing a few. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I will put in the description, as I always do, the Thaumcraft cheat sheet that I use when I do this. And basically, it shows you all of the aspects and how to make all the aspects. So what aspects go together to make all the other aspects. I just use it because I've done this so many times now. It gets a little bit boring when you're trying to figure it out from scratch, so I'll put that down below if you would like to take a look at that and find like all of the aspects fairly easily without having to sit here and waste all your aspects for like 25 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna go away, I'm gonna unlock quite a few aspects, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so a little while later, we did have a little bit of an issue with the mana pool. For some reason, after I'd done like maybe 4 or 5 of my Greatwood blocks, when I threw more in, it just ate them. It didn't give me any Greatwood planks back. It was a little bit annoying. I threw about 6 Greatwood logs into the mana pool, and it just ate them up. I tried restarting the server. I tried all kinds of stuff. In the end, I had to break the mana pool and put it back down before I could get more Greatwood planks out of it. I'm not quite sure what that's about. We are on an old version of FTB Infinity Evolved right now, so maybe that's been fixed in the newer versions. I'm not too sure, but one thing I do know for sure right now is that we can go ahead and make ourselves the second table. Nice. Now, once we've got both of those, what we should be able to do is grab our scribing tool. And then, once we've figured out where I'm going to put this down, I think for now, I'll put it like here. You want to put 2 of these next to each other, and then right-click with the scribing tool. Boom! And you get a research table. Nice. Now, by default, it will have so many aspects in it. And what we need to do now is go ahead and grab ourselves the research notes for nitor and for Alumentum. And for that, we are going to need these scribing tools, which by default are put in here after you make the table. But if we take those out and grab the scribing tools, the research even, for nitor and Alumentum, boom, we can then take those and put them into the research table, like so, with our scribing tool. And then the idea here is you have to connect the ignis on this side with this unknown aspect here. Now, there are multiple ways that you can unlock this aspect. You can go ahead and try and like merge 2 aspects here together like so, and when you do so, you'll unlock new aspects because all of the aspects in Thaumcraft are made up of these 5 or 6, 1, 2, 3, 6 primal aspects. But when you do that, you do lose 1 predictor and 1 order. For example, if we did this, we lost 1 predictor and 1 ignis. Maybe air and ignis? Yeah, air and ignis gets us lux, which I thought was the one. Oh, that's for nitor. If we take this out and put nitor in, you can see nitor requires lux and ignis. So what you got to do is you got to connect the lux to the ignis, and the way you do that is basically lux is made up of ignis and air, so you can put either ignis or air in any of these slots here, any of the adjacent slots to the aspect, and then it will kind of connect up. So for example, if I put ignis there, we get a nice little line showing they've connected. I can then put lux there because lux is made using ignis, and then I can go ahead and put ignis here. That gets a line there, and then finally, I can put some lux there. That connects the whole thing up with a line, and we have completed the research for nitor. Nice. So, if we go ahead and right-click on that, we have now discovered nitor. The next thing we need to do is discover Alumentum. And again, it's kind of the same thing. Because we don't have a thermometer right now, we can't scan items for these aspects. What we have to do is kind of just play around with this a little bit and see what we can find. I'm not 100% certain on what the missing aspect is, so this could take a little while. It's Botania. Botania is made up using Order and Predito, so I think what we can do for that is, oh no, Botania is made up using Order and Ignis, my apologies. We put it together, we get an extra Ignis. So what we can do there is we can go ahead and again, just use Ignis, use some Botania, is it Botania? Yeah, Botania, Ignis, and Botania, and we complete ourselves the research notes for Argumentum, which gives us access to this guy over here, Essentia Distillation, which does require us to have these scribing tools, and again, will get us one more set of research notes, which we can then put in here, and again, we are now missing a few. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away, I will put it in the description, as I always do, the Thaumcraft cheat sheet that I use when I do this, and basically, it shows you all of the aspects, and how to make all the aspects, so what aspects go together to make all the other aspects. I just use it because I've done this so many times now, it gets a little bit boring when you're trying to figure it out from scratch, so I'll put that down below if you would like to take a look at that and find like all of the aspects fairly easily without having to sit here and waste all your aspects for like 25 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna go away, I'm gonna unlock quite a few aspects, and I'll be back in a second. And a little bit of time later, we have completed the research for Essentia Distillation. I think I might have gone a bit of a long way around doing it. I couldn't find a short way of doing it, but basically, Limus over here is made using Aqua. Aqua is used to make this Victus. Victus is, of course, then Aqua. Victus, Aqua. Then Victus is also, no, Terra is the other thing that you use to make Victus here, so Terra and Aqua make Victus. This one is made using Terra and Order, so I link those two together like that. Order is then, of course, used to make Potentia, which is then used to make Bricantia. If you find that confusing, that's fine. It doesn't really matter too much. We are now done, I think, with research for the rest of today's episode. But what we have done is we have gone ahead and unlocked this section here, and in here it gives us the recipe for how to make the Alchemical Furnace. Now to make this, we are going to need 7 of these arcane stone brick, a normal furnace, and a crucible. The crucible being made using a cauldron being tapped by a wand. I believe it shows us how to do that back here. Yeah, if you take a normal cauldron, right click it with an iron capped wooden wand, you get a crucible, and if I'm not mistaken, I think in Feed the Beast Infinity Hard Mode, the way that we get ourselves a crucible or a cauldron is using iron plates instead of iron. So let's throw 7 iron ingots into there. Those should turn into iron plates fairly quickly. Then we're going to need this arcane stone, which is made by using living rock, which I wasn't really expecting, but kind of makes sense now that I think about it. Do we have any spare living rock lying around? I don't think that we do, but we do have the pure daisy. Is it still outside, or did I put it away? I put it away. We'll take you, and we will take a bit of normal stone so we can get ourselves some living rock. I'm not quite sure how much of that we're going to need. I will check in just a second here, but for now, boom, 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 boom. Nice. All right, let's check in here. Let's go over here. And then that gets us 8, which is more than enough. So we only need 4, and then 4 normal stone, 1 of any of the shards, and then 2 Ignis and 2 Terra in our wand. Right now, our wand has a little bit of Terra, but not any Ignis. The reason, by the way, that it has Terra in it and a little bit of air is because you occasionally get those from fighting mobs. If you fight a mob, you will occasionally get a little bit of what's known as V, which is that little aspect that go in your wand. Drop on the floor, then you can pick them up, and they will automatically store themselves within your wand. The other way that you get aspects without killing mobs is by fighting aura nodes and then drawing the aspects out of those aura nodes. So what I think I'm gonna have to do, guys, is I think I'm gonna have to go away, try and find an aura node so I can get a little bit more V in my wand so that we can make ourselves the Alchemical Furnace, this guy over here, because then we can actually move on to a little bit of witchery and finally try and get ourselves that blood altar towards the end of today's episode. But real quick, before we do cut away, we can grab all of those iron plates. We can then go ahead and craft those up into a normal cauldron, and then if we throw it on the floor, right click it, boom, it becomes a crucible. We can then pick that up, and we are halfway there. Alright, so we're partway there to making ourselves this guy over here. So we also need a little bit of aqua as well for this crafting recipe. And also, by the way, all of this is done within the arcane workbench, which basically means that we're going to need another one of these tables as well. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to grab a little bit more of the great wood from over there. Hopefully we don't have the same issue with the mana pool again, but I'm going to go away and do that. I'm also going to find an aura node, get some wand into my V, get some V into my wand, and I'll be back in a second. So aura nodes are actually a little bit hard to see if you don't have goggles revealing or a thermometer, which we should really have at this point. But basically, I find the best way to find them is usually to look out on the water at night, because they do give off a little bit of light. You can see there's one over there. Also, we have a little bit of a friend with us. Let me just quickly grab my sword, make this a fair fight. Get out of here as we attack him with iron. Get out of here. Now, because we don't have a thermometer or goggles of revealing, it means that we can't actually see what's in here. So we do have to be careful, because if we try and take too much out, we can permanently damage the node. But so basically, let's just shift here. Let's try and grab a little bit. We can see it contains aqua. We can see it contains air. Those are the numbers that are going up. Usually, they probably contain like about 10 at least. So we should be fair. Like, we should be okay to grab quite a few of these. What is with all the zombies? Jeez, get the heck out of here. Now, what I'm thinking is that the one in the ocean probably has quite a bit of aqua as well. I will take a little bit. Let's do a quick check on... Oh, my goodness. Get out of here. I don't want to buy whatever you're selling. Get out. There we go. I will take a quick look into our thermometer again. Our Thermonomicon. And let's see what we need. We need 2 Terra, 2 Ignis, as well as 5 Aqua and 5 Ignis. So we need 7 Ignis, 5 Aqua, which we have. Let's quickly check out this one over here. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll have a little bit of Ignis in. If not, we're going to have to do a little bit more searching around. Alright, so again, a little while later, we're going to make ourselves a second table using some more grit wood. This time, we're simply going to put it down wherever we like. For now, we'll put it there, and then right-click it with any kind of wand. For now, we're going to use our iron-capped wooden wand. That gets us an arcane work table, and then, again, like with the scribing tools over here, the wand does get put automatically into the right slot in the table. You can take it back out whenever you like, but for now, we're going to leave it in there. We're going to go ahead and do something like this with 4 of those. 4 living rock, and then 1 of any of the shards that we have over in our storage. Let's quickly drink some apple juice. I did also steal a bunch of berries because those raspberries go back ridiculously quick, and we have now a ton of raspberry juice, which is pretty nice. So let's grab... let's take air shards, because we've got an absolute ton of those, and then we will throw that into the arcane work table. That will get us all of the arcane stone that we should need. So you can go in there. We're then going to probably have to actually go and get some more cobblestone now I think about it, because we need to make a normal furnace in order to get ourselves the last piece of the puzzle. So... oh, we do. All right, again, I'm going to go away. I'm going to get some more cobblestone, which is a sentence I've said way too many times in this series already, considering how common cobblestone is. But I'm going to go away. I'm going to get enough cobblestone to make a furnace, which is enough to make 8 compressed cobblestone. And I'll be back in a second. And boom, a furnace. Nice. All right, now we've got all that stuff. We should finally be able to put you there, you guys around like that, and craft ourselves an alchemical furnace. Nice. Now, we are going to need another one of these later on down the line to actually do some more Thaumcraft stuff, to do some infusion crafting, and all that good stuff. But, for now, we're going to work towards our blood magic blood altar. So, to make that, if I type in blood magic, does it come up somewhere? No. Okay. We need to make ourselves... the blood altar. Now, the final thing that we are missing, apart from the fact that we need a bunch more cobblestone, as well as some mana steel that we can get fairly easily by throwing some iron into our mana pool. I don't know if we quite have enough, but if we don't, we can always go ahead and get, we can always go ahead and throw some more wood down at these ender flames, and it should be fairly easy for us to get some more mana steel. But what we are going to do is we're going to have to start a little bit of witchery to get this guy here, the attuned stone, which, as we said before, it does require a mana diamond, actually, so even more mana is required, but also the whiff of magic, which needs a witch's oven. So, we also need a clay jar, which is just some clay. That's nice. Alright, witch's oven. I haven't played with this before, so there may be a little bit of a learning curve, but what? Oh, what is this about? It needs another alchemical furnace, as well as some dark iron bars? Oh, what? Oh, okay. Well. What? Okay, with that. Oh, no, we can use normal iron. Okay, that makes things a little easier. If we'd have had to use the dark iron bars, that would have taken us way too long. The fact that we can use normal iron bars is good, because it means that we can probably actually get some stuff done. Now, we should have some iron bars lying around from the, I think it was last episode, or maybe the episode before. I looked at the recipe for this, apparently without the Feed the Beast expert mode on, and I was like, that's easy, we could do that. But apparently, we're going to need another one of these alchemical furnaces, which actually isn't too big of a deal. It's just cobblestone, a little bit of mana steel and stuff like that. but that does mean we're going to do another one of those. So, again, guys, I'm going to have to go away. I'm going to have to do a bunch of tree chopping to get myself quite a bit of fuel. So we can get the Ender Flames working again and get some mana in this mana pool. Enough mana to make quite a few mana steel. I think we're going to need 4 in total, as well as maybe a little bit more living wood. And yeah, so I'm going to go away. I'm going to try and get all this stuff, and I'll be back in a second. And again, quite some time later, we have some more arcane stone blocks, which we should then be able to use to go ahead and make ourselves the second alchemical furnace of the episode, one that I was not planning on making, but one that we do now have, thankfully. So let's head on out here. Let's see if we can get at least the 2 mana steel that we're going to need for the Witch's Oven. We can. Can we get the 2 others? We can. Good stuff. I threw like a stack of planks over at those 2. So, let's head on back inside. We should now have everything we need to go ahead and do something like this. We do require one of these fire crystal clusters. Thankfully, we have exactly 6 fire shards in our chest there. I was a little worried when I was walking towards it earlier. I thought we were going to have to go try and find some more. Thankfully, we do not. And so, we should be able to do something like that. Nice. Alright, we now have a Witch's Oven, so I think you can put this down anywhere, and I believe the way this works is kind of just as it showed in the pictures before. We will go back to the blood altar. To make this, we need this, which requires the whiff of magic, so we need any sapling. I don't think it has to be a Rowan sapling, but apparently it does. Okay. So, I think there's a special way that you get this sapling, if I'm not mistaken. I have seen a few people play with witchery before, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away. I'm going to find out how in the world you get this sapling, because NEI is not telling me whatsoever. We could use a Breath of Goodness. That might be a bit easier, because we can use... Oh, that's a distillery? How the heck do you make a distillery? Oh, if we didn't need to make one of these things. Okay, yeah, no, we're not going to do this. Not yet. Alright, we need the attuned stone to get that. So, I'm going to go away. I'm going to figure out how to get that Rowan sapling, and I'll be back again in a second. Okay, so back again, and I think I may have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew trying to get to the blood altar within this episode, because I just looked at how we get all the stuff for witchery, and it looks like it might be a little bit of a pain to get. So, in order to get the Rowan sapling, we have to use it. It's like, we have to use what's known as mutandis, which is this stuff here, this like paste. Basically, it's kind of like witchery's bone meal. You use it on the grass, and it will grow random plants. Sometimes it will just grow vanilla stuff, but if you keep doing it, eventually there is a chance that you will get the Rowan sapling. Now, that would be okay if mutandis was cheap, but to make it, you need an egg, some exhale of the horned one, which is made in a witch's oven with some oak saplings. That's fine. And then some mandrake root, which is made using the mandrake seed, all thrown into a witch's cauldron, of which you will see there is no recipe for here. And if we go over here, there's also no recipe for here. So again, I had to Google that, and it turns out that you make that by putting down a normal cauldron and then right-clicking on it with some anointing paste, I think is how it's pronounced. This stuff over here, which is made using some cyan petals, one of each of the witchery seeds, and then some water. And as of right now, we actually don't have all of the witchery seeds. So what I'm going to have to do between episodes is go ahead and just break a ton of grass. We do have the water artichoke. I don't think we have any of the others, unfortunately, which is a bit of a pain. So, what I'm going to do, guys, between episodes, I'm going to go away, I'm going to break it to the grass, I'm going to try and get all the stuff we need to make this. I'm going to play around with the mutandis and some of the witchery stuff in a single-player world so I can kind of get my head around it for next episode, but we will come back next time, we will make our blood altar, and hopefully be able to progress on from there with just about everything in the mod pack. But, as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.